It is so incredibly hard to get dressed for warmer weather. For spring and summer, it's impossible. It is so incredibly hard to get dressed for fall and winter. The layers, the colder weather, it's impossible. I hear it all. Today I'm going to talk about both and what is really happening when you feel like one season is so much harder to get dressed for. Hello, I'm Kristen from Kristen Cain Style. Welcome. I'm thrilled that you are here. If you're not familiar with me and my work, I'm a style and mindset coach, and I help women create wardrobes they really, truly love wearing. Wardrobes that make it really effortless to look and feel authentic and fabulous when they get dressed. And I do that by helping them build style self-trust, which is the fundamental key to getting dressed with ease. When you develop style self-trust, editing your closet, purchasing new things, packing for travel, special occasions, invitations, knowing what to wear on an everyday basis becomes easy and effortless and authentic. And I love working with women one-on-one in this way to help them grow their style self-trust and learn to have confidence in their decisions around getting dressed. Style therapy is my one-on-one signature package. It is the only way I work one-on-one with clients. There is a link down below that will give you all the details. There is also a link to book a 1-hour free consultation call if you would like to, where we'll really get into what's going on with you personally. What are your style struggles that you're experiencing right now? And is style therapy the right investment for you right now? Will that be the thing that solves your style struggle? I've yet to meet a style struggle that I can't solve, and yet I want to make sure you make the best decision for you about whether it's the right time to invest in this work and work with someone one-on-one who can help get you there faster and easier and help create the transformation that you're desiring, because I know the ins and outs of what happens in your closet and in your mind when there are style struggle stuff in the way. So links down below if you're interested, or you can certainly comment below if you would like to chat further, and we can set up a time to talk. Today, the lady jacket came out, feels really good today. My pink video got lots of love, and the pink pieces are getting lots of love in my wardrobe. And this lady jacket just feels really good and really fun to wear. So I'm happy to show up in it today. Today, I want to talk about something that it really almost makes me chuckle when I chat with a client for the first time, because usually it is one or the other that shows up in the conversation. Either she finds it very, very difficult to get dressed for warmer weather, spring and summer. It's a super big part of the style struggle that she's dealing with. Or she finds it really hard to get dressed for fall and winter. It is a super big part of the style struggle she is dealing with. And I just find it so interesting and so indicative of how the circumstance is always neutral. It is not the warm weather or the cold weather that is the problem. It is the thoughts and feelings that we have around the cold weather, or the warm weather in this case, that are creating the problem. The weather is neutral. The weather isn't the problem. The problem is what we think and feel and believe about getting dressed in any certain climate, and the actions that we then take as a result. So I want to just coach briefly on this. I think this one's going to be kind of short, although whenever I say that, then it ends up being like an hour long. I think this one's going to be a little bit tighter because I want to just offer some coaching questions that you can use for yourself to really get clear on what's going on if you have a strong sense that one season is definitely harder to get dressed for you. So as I said, the weather is neutral. The weather is a circumstance. And in the work of Brooke Castillo, who is a life coach, who is really incredible, and if you have any interest in learning more about that, Brooke Castillo is someone worth following and learning from. She created something called the model, and it is a self-coaching tool that she uses. You can use it to coach with other people. I sometimes introduce it with my clients when it feels necessary. But essentially, it is the idea that a circumstance is always neutral, and it is whatever the thing is that we're attaching thoughts and beliefs and feelings to. So there is a circumstance, and then the circumstance creates a thought for us. We have a thought about the circumstance. In this case, it's a thought about getting dressed in certain weather. And then that thought generates a feeling that we're having, whatever that might be. You can Google a feelings wheel if you want to know what the feelings are. It could be dissatisfaction, it could be frustration, overwhelm, sadness, fear, joy, happiness, curiosity, compassion. Those are all feelings. So you have a circumstance, then you have a thought about it, then you have a feeling about the thought. The thought creates a feeling. And then from that place, you take action, and then that action creates your result. So in this case, what happens is you have this neutral circumstance of it being hot outside, and that isn't a problem at all until you attach a thought. It doesn't really carry any weight at all. It's just hot outside until you attach a thought to it. Some people, when it's hot outside, are super happy. They feel amazing when it's hot outside. Some people, when it's hot outside, are super not happy. They feel miserable when it's hot outside. But it's just hot outside. It isn't good or bad until we attach our thought to the circumstance. Could be cold weather. It generates, the negative or positive feeling. So the circumstance is neutral. We attach a thought to it, and then we have a feeling about that thought. So it's hot outside. My thought is, I hate hot weather. It's so hard to get dressed for hot weather. Then the feeling that brings up is frustration, sadness, inferiority, confusion, whatever the feeling is that you feel when you think it's hot outside and it's so hard to get dressed when it's hot outside. I don't even know where to start. That creates a feeling. Once you identify what that feeling is, frustrated, inferior, confused, that feeling is what generates the action. You take action from that feeling. So if you're frustrated and confused when it's hot outside and you don't know what to wear, chances are you're not going to great lengths to really try to solve the problem, because you'd rather just sit in the air conditioning in your cut off sweatpants and your tank top and not solve the problem because you're feeling kind of lousy about it. Where if you have a different thought about it, it's really hot outside, and wow, that means I get to wear my sundresses, and I love my sundresses and I love how I feel in them. And then the feeling that conjures is enthusiasm and joy and curiosity about where you could maybe find another sundress. Then you get dressed from a completely different place because you're feeling amazing. And so the action you take is to go buy a new sundress or to put on your favorite sundress and go for a walk, go meet your friend for lunch. And then the result is you continue loving getting dressed for hot weather because you've created that cycle. It doesn't matter what season. There's no season that's better or worse. It's really what your thoughts are about that season and about shopping and about the clothing. If you hate wool and where you live, you can only find wool sweaters and wool feels terrible on your body, then when it gets cold, all you think is, I'm going to itch all winter and that makes me miserable, so I'm just going to stay home in my sweats. Like it's a self-fulfilling kind of prophecy when the story you keep telling yourself is the same about the season. And I have worked with so many women, and I haven't taken a poll, but my guess is it's probably about 50-50. Half of them hate the summertime and find it impossible to find summer clothing they love and put outfits together in the summer. And half of them feel that exact same way about winter. And so it shows me that it's not the season. It has nothing to do with the season, because some women are getting dressed in summer and looking incredibly chic without a sundress, without showing all kinds of skin. And some women are putting outfits together and looking incredibly chic and warm enough in the winter. And so it really is a matter of your thoughts about the season that you're struggling with and how to shift that so that you can begin to make that season work for you if you're not planning to move from that location and that weather is going to continue. So the fastest way to solve this, I find, this struggle of there's one season or one half of the year where I really can't find anything to wear, don't know how to build an outfit, I'm not sure what to do, is to look to the season that's easy for you and find out why it's easy. Why is winter easier for you to get dressed in? Because I stay inside all the time and I wear really comfy loungewear and I work from home in the winter and I don't need to go outside. And then in the summer, I have to go out in public and I just really don't know how to translate because I haven't put together a wardrobe that works for outside of the house, because winter I'm home all season. And then in the summer, I have to go outside and I haven't come up with what my outside clothing even looks like. So you want to use the thoughts and the feelings and the techniques that you're using for the season you like getting dressed for and apply those to the season you don't like. So for instance, maybe in the winter, you always wear a formula. You always wear a pullover sweater and a real thin turtleneck and a great pair of jeans and a belt and thick socks and a boot, and you have an overcoat you love and a couple different scarves you rotate through. And some combination of that formula is your go-to for the winter, and it feels authentic for you and it's appropriate for the climate and for the life that you live. And it works. You have all the pieces you need, you know where they are, and you know how they fit your body, and you know how to layer them. The colors work together. It's a capsule that works. And That capsule that you wear in the winter is navy and cream and gray, or it is burgundy and plum and olive green and whites, whatever your color palette is for the season that you love. My guess is it's pretty dialed in. Then you get to summer and all the retailers are showing, canary yellow and leaf green and hot pink and watermelon and all these bright colors that aren't in your wheelhouse where you're comfortable dressing, where you've identified that winter is easy and those colors are easy and you like those and you feel authentic in those. And then you get to summer and you maybe have a wardrobe you've already accumulated that is bright and colorful and patterned. And all of a sudden it just feels really inauthentic because now you're in these bright colors and they don't feel like you, but summer dressing, it has to be bright. And this is what they're showing in the stores, or it has to be linen. And I really hate the way linen feels on my skin, or I hate ironing, or I hate wrinkles. You're trying to be something in the season you don't like that isn't authentic. So how can you take that winter uniform and make it your summer uniform? Maybe you need a pair of really beautiful linen pants that can take the place of the jeans. And you need a great pair of sneakers if you don't like to wear sandals because you hate pedicures and you don't want your feet to show. What kind of lighter weight, non-boot shoe could you wear in the summer that would be a little cooler? A canvas sneaker, a little ballet flat, something that would be a little cooler that could be part of your uniform. You probably aren't going to wear a turtleneck in the summer, so what could be the simple t-shirt version of the turtleneck that you layer with the pullover sweater? Are there gauzy, lean, loose knit sweaters that you could adopt for your summer persona, where you might wear a short sleeve t-shirt and tie that sweater around your shoulders and put it on when you're in air conditioning or in the morning or the evening when it's cool? How can you take that same look that you use in the winter and apply it to your summer clothing? And it might mean that you need to edit out the bright pieces that aren't the right silhouette to make you feel like you feel when you feel amazing in the winter. But it's a process. And once you begin to build a summer wardrobe that really feels authentic, you don't have to keep redoing it. You might not have all those bright dresses anymore. They might need to move out, but you will accumulate the great t-shirts and the linen pants and the great shoes and the soft, lightweight sweaters that you can layer and use as your summer uniform. In addition, you want to bring the colors over. That doesn't mean you want to wear black and gray and cream and navy maybe in the summer, but maybe you do. There are lots of women who only wear black in the summer and they look chic and effortless and gorgeous. What is your summer color palette going to be so that you can create that same cohesive idea in the summer with your clothing and your layers and your pieces and your silhouettes, and create those formulas, those uniforms that become your summer go-tos in the summer color palette that works. Maybe it's French blue and white and red and a little bit of khaki. Maybe it's all ivory. Maybe it is a bit of color, or maybe it's lots of color and you just need to embrace that. And until now, you've been fighting that. You've been feeling really authentic as this winter version, but then you come over here and try on your summer stuff and you're like, it doesn't feel like my winter self at all. I just feel so out of place. But maybe it's you really love those colors. You just haven't accepted the fact that your summer wardrobe is radically different than your winter wardrobe. But it's okay that it's colorful because you actually love those colors. There's no wrong answer here. It's a matter of getting clear on the fact that it's not about the weather. There is a way to find pieces that are physically cool enough, that cover your body in the way you're comfortable, and that work for whatever the climate is that you live in. And I've worked with clients in really hot climates. I've worked with clients in really cold climates where most of the year is one or the other. And there is a way to build a wardrobe that works for the weather you live in. Part of it is accepting the fact that you might need to soften your story and your thoughts and your beliefs about this terrible season that you can't get dressed in, because that's just perpetuating it being a terrible season that you can't get dressed in. And there are lots of fabrics available. There are linen jeans. So if you wanted a 5-pocket denim shape, but you want them in linen, that's possible. And I would also look to, as you're kind of digging around in this and trying to uncover why you feel differently about both seasons, I would really ask yourself that. What is it about the season I don't love getting dressed for that really makes me not love it? What are my thoughts and possibly limiting beliefs? Did you grow up with a mom who just hated hot weather? And so you didn't really ever adopt your own feeling about getting dressed for hot weather because you adopted her feeling about getting dressed for hot weather. And you now live in Arizona and it is hot a lot of the year. there and you're miserable trying to get dressed because that voice of your mom saying she couldn't stand getting dressed and she could never find clothing that was right for summer and she could never be cool enough, that has become your story. But really, if you started to expand your idea of how you could solve the problem, there are ways to get dressed and live in places like, there are lots of women in Arizona who look really chic and amazing. I know many of them, and they deal with the heat. And yes, it is really hot, and they still manage to look chic and fabulous. So it's a matter of getting clear on what are your thoughts and beliefs about the season that is difficult, and what are the struggles? Is it that you haven't identified what your color palette is? You don't know what fabrics would feel cool enough on your body. You're not comfortable showing your arms anymore, and you used to wear sundresses, but now what do? It's hot and you want to have less clothing on, but you're not comfortable in the things you used to wear. You need to do a little research and try on some new shapes and new silhouettes and see, are you comfortable in something that's just a thicker strap, not a spaghetti strap? Do you need a cap sleeve? Do you need a long sleeve, but something that's really sheer and soft and breathable? A fabric that maybe you haven't worn before. Maybe you wear acrylic sweaters all winter long, but you need to branch into some natural fibers in the summer so that they have more breathability and can be made a little more lightweight. There are ways to solve the style struggle, but as I coach on here all the time, if we're not willing to look at the possibility of a new outcome, we're never going to create it. If the story you keep telling is it's impossible to get dressed for summer or it's impossible to get dressed for winter, that's what you're creating, is more of that impossibility around a summer wardrobe you love or a winter wardrobe you love. And this topic really fascinates me because I love working with clients who have a really strong feeling about this one way or the other, because when we get in there and begin to do the work inside style therapy, they really quickly see, oh, wait, like I know how to do this in one season, and I've been resisting that other season because I wasn't seeing that I could apply some of those techniques and thoughts and beliefs to the season that's difficult for me and begin to make it easier, begin to shift my thinking and also shift the contents of my closet so that I have the pieces I need for the season I don't love to be able to build outfits that feel authentic and feel good on my body and are the right temperature and work. Because it is definitely possible. I have clients in all sorts of climates and they look amazing and they feel amazing, and they are securing the pieces they need at every age, every size, shape, price point. They're making it work. I just want to offer, especially as the season changes, as you're heading into a new season, if it's not the season you love getting dressed for, how are you going to change that this year? How are you going to look at what could I do differently here that would begin to help me create a wardrobe that supports me in this season, even if I really like the other weather better, even if I really prefer it to be cold because I love to ski or I love the snow and I don't really love being hot. How can I make a wardrobe work for me in the warmer climate if I'm not moving and I'm not traveling for the entire time it's warm? How can I build a wardrobe that works? Because who wants to have an entire season go by where we have nothing to wear and we feel terrible when we get dressed and we're just praying for the colder or warmer weather? That really doesn't make it fun to get dressed, and it's not serving you to not have a wardrobe that works for you all year round, that you have what you need in the winter and then you also have what you need in the summer. So I hope that was helpful. I would love to know, which side are you on? Or do you find it way easier to get dressed in the summer or way easier to get dressed in the winter? And why? Like what happens for you that makes it feel easier in one or the other? Because there are so many interesting thoughts and feelings that come up for women around this topic. And I find it fascinating. I guess if I had to choose, I don't think I can choose, because I still wear pretty much my same formula in the summer. I still wear jeans. I still wear tank tops and t-shirts with a sweater. Now, I live in a dry climate. It gets very hot in Utah, but it is dry. So I don't live in South Florida. I don't live in Louisiana or in Texas, where there's a huge component of humidity along with the heat. When I lived on the East Coast, it was hazy, hot, and humid most of the summer. And then I didn't wear as many sweaters unless I was in air conditioning through the warmer months. But I still had a uniform of some loose fitting pants and a t-shirt or a tank top that I liked to make it so I still felt authentically like me, even when the weather was warmer. I guess most of the year I'm pretty happy when I can wear layers, and in the summer I'm still wearing layers. I've just modified them so that they are light enough weight that they work for me. Yeah, I like this topic, and I hope it's helpful to you to hear that it's not about the climate. It has nothing to do with the weather. It has to do with your thoughts and feelings about the weather and about your wardrobe and the clothing available in that weather. I'm on Instagram during the week doing various and sundry things, sharing some bluegrass from Theoretical Blonde, my son's band, as well as style things and kind of other behind the scenes things. So at Kristen Cain Style, I'd love to have you follow me over there if you're not already. And if you'd like to consider working with me one-on-one, style therapy, all the details are down below. I would love that. Just love helping women recognize that there is a way to transform how they look and feel when they get dressed, and it is not as complicated or expensive as they might be thinking. And lasting results with your style are just completely possible, and oftentimes it takes a coach to kind of help you see how quickly the change can happen, because I can get in there and help you see the limiting beliefs that have been kind of calling the shots probably for a really long time. We can get rid of those, and then it becomes effortless and so much fun. Okay, that's it. I hope you have a really beautiful, beautiful week. Thanks for watching. I'll be back next Friday. Bye-bye.